and welcome to another episode of Treats and Cheats. Today I thought I would go back and review a lesson I had did a very long time ago when I first started shooting these videos about Sunday meal prep and how I do this within my own household to make my life a whole lot easier during the week. Now, it's been a really busy weekend for me. I'm tired. I had some in-laws visiting and we had a wonderful time this weekend, but I know that I need to put in a little time this afternoon just to get my life on track so that the rest of the week coming up, which is even more busy and pretty stressful for me this week, so that I have a lot of options to pick from in the refrigerator and I don't have to spend any extra time cooking my meals, because that's really important to me. I need the right energy and the right foods to fuel me through this crazy week ahead. So I wanted to take a few minutes and just show you what it is that I was able to put together in just the last hour and a half or so. Now, you have to be somebody who likes to multitask, because at the same time I usually do this, I usually have about 2 loads of laundry going, and sometimes I listen to an audiobook while I'm doing this, because I might as well make my time productive while I'm chopping and cooking. But I try to make sure that I cook a few things at the same time to speed everything up. So let me just give you a little tour of what I've made so far today, and I have a little bit left to do, but I wanted to show you where I was in progress with this. The first thing I did this morning, whenever my in-laws were here and I was making breakfast for us, was that I chopped up 2 chicken breasts, seasoned them, threw them in the oven and baked them for about 45 minutes, and there's my first protein source that's already ready for the week. So while I was making breakfast and enjoying their company over my morning tea, my chicken was cooking, and that is ready. I also, at the same time, had thrown in some peppers and onions into a skillet, and I had gotten that ready for almost more of a fajitas mix this week, so I have that all prepared as well. So those 2 things were going on at the same time. Now, this afternoon when I got started, I decided to make some quinoa in advance in a big pot, because what I like to do is just dish it out in my half-cup servings whenever I eat it. So I threw the quinoa on the stove, it sat, it cooked, it's all ready to be fluffed now and packed, but that was cooking at the same time that I made some homemade applesauce. Now, I don't do that too often, but I had this bag of apples that was sitting in the bottom of the fridge, and I thought I'd better do something with those. So I made my own unsweetened applesauce, which was so easy. Maybe I'll make it again another day on Treats and Cheats. But I let that boil at the same time the quinoa was boiling, and they finished at the same time. So I had 2 pots ready to go. Now, the next thing I need to do still is to roast this cauliflower. I found I had a cauliflower today at the produce market I was at, and it was on its last legs before we go bad. So I decided I'm going to try this recipe called cauliflower popcorn. It was super easy. I'm also going to save that for a separate episode. That's going into the oven next, along with a tray of the roasted broccoli that I have not had a chance yet to prep, but I'm going to throw this in at the same time. So then I'll have a couple containers of roasted vegetables to go with my protein sources that I'm currently making. I thawed out my salmon, because I like salmon, and I make it easy, and I buy the kind that's already in a bag and pre-packaged, but I still need to bake it and glaze it and grill it and all those things. So I thawed that out this morning on the counter in some cold water while my chicken and my peppers were cooking. So I need to make a glaze for that, and then we'll grill that a little bit later tonight as the last thing for the week. And then over on the side there, I usually make all my salads. I know I have a video on my channel about crispy salads for days, and that's how I still do it. I want to add a tip to my crispy salads for days this week. If you're going to put cucumbers, peppers, tomatoes, anything like that in your salad, those vegetables have a very high water content. If you would put those in a salad with your lettuce and put the paper towel on top the way I always advise you to, that water is still going to release and cause your salad to get a little soggy. I learned a little tip on my own. I figured it out on my own last week. If I put a paper towel on top of my lettuce and then lay my cut vegetables, like my peppers and my tomatoes and my cucumbers on top of that paper towel, that keeps them separate. The paper towel will absorb the moisture from the lettuce underneath, and it will also suck up the extra moisture coming out of the vegetables on top. So that paper towel is usually wet when I take it out of my salad, but my salad is still crisp. And that was a new tip that I thought of last week that I want to share with you. So I still have some salad prep to do too today. But you can see, if I put in 2 or 3 hours on a Sunday to do this, I usually don't have to think about cooking until about Thursday night. And that's good, because I teach Monday night, I teach Tuesday night, and then I have lots of plans this week on Wednesday professionally, which is exciting. And then Thursday night is usually just a down night. I usually have some fun plans, to look forward to after work, so I really don't want to cook anymore this week. So I'd rather put the time in here on a Sunday when my house is quiet and my family is busy. Like I said, put some music on, put on an audiobook, throw some laundry in, get busy, get your containers out, and make your life a little bit easier, because I know how hard it is when people are running around with their kids' activities and so forth. Many of you are even busier than I am. So I'm trying to think of ways that would help you kind of stay organized and ahead of yourself. If you don't like quinoa, you can make a pot of rice ahead of time. If your family likes chicken fajitas, you can make a bigger batch of chicken and peppers and onions and keep that for another meal during the week. But the more you can do now, the easier your week might be, and the more calm and relaxed you'll be with your family. It'll give you a little extra quality time with them. And those things are important at the end of a busy work day, to have those moments of connection. Who wants to spend that standing at the stove with a pot and a spoon and making dinner? Because I certainly don't at this point in my life. So maybe some of these tips will help you today. I'm always looking for something to help you, because that's the Anik dynamic. And I'll see you